Your 41 NBC AccuWeather forecast, presented by Volume Chevrolet.
Well, welcome back. In downtown, we've got a lot of cloud cover and probably be a decent amount of people that might be out tonight, as it's going to be one of those more mild nights, much like how last night was. But this time around, there may not be as much rain to deal with. We had those showers, and what you're seeing with these showers is what's left from that same group that's just been very steadily moving southeast throughout the region. Of course, the winter storm watch does remain in effect until 10 a.m. on Monday morning, extending through Gray, Milledgeville, Sandersville over in Washington County. So here are those overnight lows. We're largely expecting low to mid 40s. You do have a couple spots. I believe Sparta at 39 is going to be the cold spot. And the reason is like, well, not Gray or Gordon. Do you think these are numbers for tomorrow night? I have seen a couple of times where for some reason these two, Gray and Gordon, will pull the number from the next night instead of the current one. So yeah, the cold spots tonight will barely go below 40 degrees. So this is a bit of a messy system. And luckily for us, it's, more of a mess as to what the temperature profile is going to be on Sunday, not how much ice are we getting, how widespread the power outage is going to be. So we're going to be keeping it pretty dry until Saturday evening. And then as we go through the overnight hours, that is that window for some freezing rain. See, the thing is that the whole time it is just going to be rain, right? It's just that for freezing rain, there's a period where the surface goes below freezing, and that allows that rain to freeze on contact, which makes a glaze. But with this warm front tracking northward heading into Sunday afternoon, temperatures will begin to rebound, and we should have no problems going above freezing everywhere in the region. In fact, we could be seeing some spots pushing towards those 60-degree marks over the southern half of the region over Sunday night. A lot of our high temperatures will be after the sunset as a result of that warm front, the cold front coming in bringing rain, and this will all be just rain, but we do anticipate that heading into Monday morning, the temperatures are going to dip back below freezing, and that could lead to a little bit of black ice that could make for some slick commutes in a few of the northern counties. But luckily, the sun will be back Monday afternoon, and that will melt any of that that's left, so I'm not worried about that impact on Tuesday. As we continue throughout the evening, temperatures are going to hover here largely in around the low 50s and down to the low to mid 40s. Now with this model here, it's going very aggressive on how cold it's going to get. And I do question that. I honestly do. We have gotten somewhat warm the last couple of days. Granted, today, as mentioned, we have underachieved on our highs by a little bit. So you have this window where temperatures go below freezing overnight Saturday into Sunday, but there's not a whole lot that happens in there in terms of that freezing rain. As we start getting to Sunday afternoon, temperatures are likely to rebound. Now, as I mentioned, this model is being very aggressive in terms of temperatures and how cold it's going to be. I'm about to show you another version. You're going to see the same rain and all that, but the temperatures are going to look wildly different because there is some massive ranges and discrepancies between these models right now that, if we end up a little warmer than expected, then you don't have that freezing rain. You're just looking at rain. So as mentioned, something the same, but look at the temperatures, right? We're seeing these, which this is National Weather Service numbers, that are around that freezing point, a little below in northernmost counties. Notice a lot of us heading into Sunday morning, though, staying above freezing. And watch how these temperatures then start to climb heading into Sunday afternoon. Now, Sparta is going to remain pretty chilly. They're not going to get too far into those 40s, maybe upper 30s. But notice how warm we're getting in the southern half of the region. Likely to get some 60s, perhaps 70s. I do think 70s is a stretch. I'm not going to lie. I think 70s is definitely a stretch. But 60s could be fair game in the southernmost counties. Now, let's talk about the icing. Here's what I'm thinking is going to happen, right? Not a whole lot. Flat icing, less than a tenth of an inch across the board. That still can make roads slick, but keep in mind the roads will be the last thing that the ice sticks to. It'll stick to grass, power lines, and whatnot first. And in terms of power line icing, that's what radial icing is. Your threshold for power outage is around 1/4 of an inch. These are nowhere near that number. So again, just very minor impacts here. I would advise against travel on Sunday morning. If you normally go to church, do it virtual if you can. But again, black ice could be a bit of a concern Monday as well. Your extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. So we're going to keep it dry most of the day, Saturday, beginning of the evening. Those showers move in, likely starting as regular rain, but then a shift into freezing rain for a few of our northern counties. But getting into Sunday afternoon, when the next rain comes in with that cold front, it will all just be rain, and that will cut off before we get down to freezing on Monday morning. Some black ice possible for the northern counties, but I'm not worried about that lasting into Tuesday. The sunshine and dry conditions will allow all that moisture to evaporate. But a very cold week. We'll be tripping our faucets a lot overnight when it comes to next week.